Back with another speak on the interview. We got my man Chase Soul. Chase Soul, what up to you? But it's
What's
nice
happening?
to meet you, brother. You
What's
know what I'm saying?
happening? What's
How
happening?
you feeling today, man?
Good, great, amazing.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Tell the people where you came from, man, and just what got you into music. Let's start right there.
Uh, DMV bred, born and bred. Grew up in VA majority of my life. What really got me into music? Um, been doing music since I was about 3 or 4 years old. Started in church. Um, Piano, drums, keyboard, organ. Real church boy. Got into high school. Got into the marching band. Really fell in love with music at that point. Hearing all the different sounds come together as one, like a real unity. Um, After that, it was really just studying my craft, learning how to be a producer, musician, artist, live, behind the scenes type of thing.
For sure.
After that, 2017, 2018, me and my homeboy got together and started producing for the first time. And that's really where the passion set in
For sure.
of learning my craft, studying my craft, uh, really just honing in on set skills. It really wasn't until I met YG over here at 2022. He got together with me, wanted to get with another engineer who works at Double M, Stro. We started. It started off an easy process of literally just go in the studio, figure out what you know, figure out what you want to know, what you want to be good at, and then Dev was like, "Well, you figured out the rest. You got a whole another hour in your session. Go ahead, hop in the booth." Hopped in the booth, made my first single, and we've been kicking it ever since.
For sure. And, Chase. One thing about Chase, y'all, he's pretty new, relative, like very new to the music scene. Talk about how long you've been in doing this now. I know the answer, but tell the people how long you've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that you. It's like right now I can see that the passion that you have. You really tapped into it. So talk about how long you've been doing this, and but even that what would you say was that moment for you that really really kicked in that passion?
So I really been really setting in on becoming an artist and being an artist for about the last 5 6 months. Really since about July or September, or between July and September of 2022, of me really learning how to be an artist and learning everything of the craft itself. But uh, I can honestly say about 5 or 6 months I've really been trying to dial in on everything I'm doing. Uh, yeah, that's basically about it for right now.
For sure, for sure. Talk about your style of music. I talk with everybody in here. I really like the tracks, man. Give me some of
Appreciate it.
that traditional R&B that what I'm saying. It ain't been around in a while. You know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
talk about what that style of music for you. What makes you want to kick into that style of music?
I mean, honestly, I just feel like I'm not trying to step on any toes here, but I just want to kick it back to 90s R&B, 2000s R&B, the Tyrese, the Music Soul Child, you know. I'll even say it like this: early Chris Brown. To where everything about that era speaks to my soul. And for the people who don't know, Chase is my last name, and SOL really kind of came from, and it is Chase Soul, but it's Chase SOL. Soul SOUL started from YG. He basically wanted me to come up with an artist name, and William just didn't really sound good to me. William's my first name, so I was just like, let's just go ahead and go with Chase. Everybody at my job, majority of people in my family, my friends, they call me Chase. So I just went ahead and stick with it. But I just needed something that would make me unique. So I was just gonna go with Soul, inspired after Music Soul Child and Absol and things like that. But SOUL for attached to Chase was taken already. So I was like, might as well just go ahead and take the U off. SOL stands for shit out of luck. But if you have to ask me what does soul mean, I'll go ahead and reply you're shit out of luck if you don't already understand what that means.
Right.
So just trying to create my own uniqueness, my own sound, getting back into real R&B, real soul music. Some grown folk gonna call it baby making music,
Mm-hmm.
but just trying to keep everything original as much as possible.
For sure. And you know, you joke with the big music, but it's also like at the same time we talk about some heartbreak. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
heartbreak in R&B.
Yep.
And I've heard in even some of your tracks, you know, you've talked about some of those moments where you had probably a heartbreak in your life. Talk about some of those. How are you able to articulate that through music?
Mainly just because I feel that putting, words to a sound, making it a song is really just like an outlet for me. Just being able to speak my truth without actually saying, it's like a therapy, without actually saying exactly what happened to me. Even sometimes saying exactly what happened to me, but just putting it in a different perspective. It's just you kind of you get your point across, if that makes sense. In terms of this happened, that happened. I'm here now. I'm able to write about it, able to speak about it. It's a therapy. It's a release for me, and you'll definitely hear that in my music.
For sure. Before we get rest into the, I know we was just talking about that R&B, man. Give me some of your top five R&B artists, man, that you feel like they one of the ones.
Uh, Number one, Music Soul Child. Uh, Number two, older Tyrese. Um, Tank. Uh, even back to, and it's funny because I can't 100% say that 100% of my R&B music comes just from R&B. I can even go back to artists like Kim Burrell for gospel, and you know, if you want to go way back, Marvin Gaye, Teddy Pendergrass, some of like the real R&B greats. Those are like majority of my real inspirations on how I, not exactly how I want to sound, but how I want my music to be felt. So yeah.
For sure. Like you say, you're still new to this, man. How much time have you really spent in the studio? How much time have you really been putting into the studio?
I don't know exactly how many man hours, but I'll probably say a collaborative 6 months.
So all 6 months, you've really been in the studio. Like, you've been in, like, I ain't gonna lie. We was talking about like I compare it to like basketball. That's why I respect a lot of artists, man, because it's like to really tap into this, passion. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take a lot of dedication, a lot of just sacrifice as well too.
Right.
It has there any sacrifices you've made in the last 6 months that you feel like that's gonna help you for your artistry?
Oh man, sleep isn't a thing anymore. Music has definitely taken over majority of my schedule. If I'm not, collabing with different engineers or even just getting across the basically just different platforms of like listening, having listening sessions with myself. Uh, Whether it's a dark moment or whether it's what I'm saying, the height of my career or height of my day. Really just sitting and listening to different genres. Yeah, kind of straying towards like a less sleep, lack of sleep, if that's what you're asking. Lack of sleep and really just trying to figure out my path. So in total, in terms of man hours for myself, every day I try and figure out a new lane that I can fit in. Maybe even a lane that I've already been in before that I can try and tie back into, what I'm saying, the way my career started now.
For sure.
It just gets down to the point of sleep, eat, work, studio,
For sure.
or at home session of trying to figure out what line goes with what song, or things like that.
Okay, okay. Talk about your, that's that songwriting process for you. I know this one of the tracks that you have coming out real soon. You spent some time with Dev. Shout out to Nina and
Yeah,
Jeff as
definitely shout
well.
out Nina.
Talk about your songwriting process though. For your music.
My songwriting process for real is sit down, clear your mind. That's my biggest advice to anybody who's trying to get into the songwriting scene. Just let the words flow. Don't try and pick a topic and then stick to a topic, because then things start coming out kind of choppy. My another thing that I like to do is I'll get together with Dev, Nina, or even Jeff, and we'll basically just figure out what sounds good on my voice. Though I have a slightly deeper voice now, when I'm singing, I like to sing in like upper octaves when I do really get into my bag, and everybody just kind of sits around and looks like, yeah, this right here, this is what it is. That songwriting process, it starts with just mumbling, trying to figure out what line sounds good or what melody sounds good. Getting to writing words definitely comes towards the latter. Uh, Really, it's just what feels good first. That's how I start. If it don't feel good, it won't sound good, and if it don't sound good, I can't record it. I can't record it well. Other things that go into that would also be not being subject to my bad, being subject to creative criticism. So if I have a line or you know what I'm saying, a verse that I know I'm gonna kill this,
Right.
it might not sound good to Nina, Jeff, Dev, maybe even, you know what I'm saying, Stroll,
Right.
anybody else. That I like to get as many ears in the room as possible because one person's idea might spark something that'll get me to create an entirely new version of what I was already pre-thinking. So things like that, and then just really sitting with the beat, or sitting with an artist that you're trying to aspire to be like. Like I'll go home and listen to a specific album from a specific era, and try and re-embody that as much as I possibly can. Anything other than that is really just creative flow. Yeah.
Sure. Yes, sir. Hey, the Chase man, he got some. You know, he been in the dark for a while, but he got some good shit he's talking about right now, man. I ain't gonna lie, he's talking that shit right now.
Hey.
Chase, man, we just want to make sure our camera be still good, Cam.
Definitely wasn't as bright-eyed, bushy-tailed as I am now. I was actually scared of my voice for a while. I was scared to let myself be heard, whether it was stage fright or speaking up in class or things like that. It really just came with, you know what I'm saying, maturing, going through certain heartbreaks and breakups, and you find yourself in those darker moments. What I will say is the confidence that I have now, well, the confidence that I can show now is definitely more so. I know who I am. I've taken those steps to speak up for myself more. I've taken those steps to try and be more front and center, posted up. I don't want to be the poster child, but I will let you know how I feel. I will let you know my opinion on a certain situation, especially if you ask me directly. Yeah, it has not always been easy to be, even when you don't want to be the spotlight. It's not easy.
Right.
It's definitely not easy when it comes to that. But I will say that when you find your true meaning to your purpose, you'll know what it is. It'll get you to that point where it's just like, yeah, I'm him. I'm him is a great quote for that.
For sure.
I found my himness.
Timothy,
Yeah,
yes sir, yes sir, man. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, you know, that's things I've talked about in the past on my podcast and interviews, man. You know, just make sure I'm tapping into, you know, the mental aspect of things. You know what I'm saying? Make
for
sure
sure.
everybody knows head is at, because you know obviously we don't get to talk about those things a lot.
Right.
And you know, just like I said, for the artists, you know, you guys are out there putting a lot of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Putting a lot of yourself into the world for, you
Hmm.
know, for whether you want people to listen to it or not. You know, it's out there, and you taking that time to, you know, really step into yourself, like you said.
Right.
So what do you see yourself doing in the future, as far as, you know, coming up, or just, you know, how do you see yourself being this artist that you see yourself wanting to be?
I'm not going to really call the future, but I will say that the steps that I'm taking are slow and steady. So I do see myself becoming an artist. You know what I'm saying? Being on somebody's billboard or opening up for whoever. If I could open up for a great, perfect. If I don't, I've made the choice to allow the path to develop itself. I'm not gonna try and step in a lane that I'm not supposed to be in. I'm not gonna try and if it comes, it comes. I'm not really for trying to foreshadow things on my life. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? God willing, everything happens. I at least take the steps that are supposed to be taken to get to my career. But an artist is the end goal, and to be on somebody's label, or somebody's be on the cover of somebody's magazine as, you know what I'm saying, hot new artist. That's really the goal. Glitz and glamour, it'll come at some point, but to at least be noticed.
That's what I say, yeah, for sure, man. Just manifest that energy into your life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said, just put in those real steps. You know, you realize at some point that you were close, a lot closer than what you really think you are. You know what I mean? So definitely keep putting in the work. It's one thing that I'll tell you. You know, especially, you know, we was talking a little bit. You talk about, you know, Nasby. You know, we're in Double M right now. Shout out to Double M.
Shout out Double M Studio.
You know, talk about, you know, what you told me outside a little bit about just listening to artists like Nasby as well. Somebody from, you know, locally.
Yeah, man.
That's doing the thing like, you know, that you admire.
Yeah, nah, Nash. I've told Dev, I've told Bees, Nash. Y'all are both very inspirational to me. Young business owners, young black business owners, definitely giving me the the platform to even allow my music to even come out. So I definitely want to say I appreciate y'all from the bottom. Nash specifically, a father, a businessman, a an artist, someone who has a certain recognition in the community. Definitely an inspiration to me specifically. To just don't be afraid of doing anything that you at least set your mind to. Once you get the platform, use it, and you know, certain aspects like that. Like I definitely want to have that conversation with Nas, you know, 5, 10 years from now, just so we can sit back and watch this interview and then we chopping it up. It just it's going to be one of those moments like we both have made it. I aspire to at least be where Nas is at this current moment. You know what I'm saying? Performing shows and at least getting his name out there. Like I aspire to do that in the near future.
For sure, man. Shout out to Nas, man.
Shout out to Nas.
Definitely gonna get y'all connected at some point, man. Cause y'all, I feel like y'all energy definitely do great.
For sure.
Like, I don't know, maybe a track. We'll see. Maybe I don't know. You gonna say that?
Hey,
Get ahead now.
that
I
could
don't know.
be.
I'm just putting things out there. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get a little credit on that too.
Yeah, nah, that's B Chase coming soon, man.
For sure. Chase, man, really appreciate you, man.
Always.
Before we go, man, talk about let's get some more top fives before we get out of here, man. We got the top 5 R&B artists. Give me some of your top 5 local artists that you listen to right now.
See, that's the one thing. I have been so focused on trying to get me and me only type of deal.
Shit, okay.
I will say Nash is my number 1, and myself is number 2.
Okay. Shit, straight like that.
Straight like that.
Straight like that. I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it. You know, is there where do you was talking about the, you know, seeing yourself in shows, you know, what are some cities that you admire that you could say that you probably could see yourself doing a show in the future?
Cali, Atlanta, New York, even Texas. You know what I'm saying? Taking it down south, or taking it even further, going to the boot. Shout out Louisiana. And just honestly, just all over the globe. All over the globe. I aspire to be nationwide.
For sure.
Every nation. Every nation. Global.
Chase Soul.
Yes,
Man.
sir.
Let people know where they can keep up with you.
So,
where they can follow you.
all socials, it's gonna be Chase Soul, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Threads, whatever you want to call it. Everything, TikTok, Chase Soul. I am Chase Soul. Yeah, follow me up.
For sure, man. And what's up with that song that's coming out? When is that coming out? What's the name?
Oh yeah, Friends, dropping December 20th. Let you into a little bit extra piece of my life, little bit of relationship stuff, a little bit of how I'm feeling as a man, a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, heartbreak, heartache, understanding. Yeah, tune in. All platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud. Help me out there. There's some more. Yeah, Tidal, everything, everywhere. 150 plus platforms. It's gonna be put on. Be uploading to as many platforms as possible, and I'll be getting y'all lyrics on this one. And a lot of people have been asking me lyrics, and I'm like, they just don't come out correctly. So I'm gonna get together with Dev, Stro, Jeff, and we're gonna figure out how to get y'all some lyrics this time.
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, these lyrics gonna go crazy. I'm gonna say one bar. He said that friend is 7 letters closer to your man.
Yeah,
I was
7
like,
letters
oh,
closer
shit.
to your man.
Oh
So
shit. Hey.
if you spell out friends and spell out your man, both 7 letters. But sometimes you just gotta be on the opposite end of the spectrum. 7 letters further from your man.
Hey, I'm gonna leave it like that, man. Make sure you go tap in, like, comment, subscribe. Chase Soul, thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
man. Appreciate
Always,
your energy,
always.
brother. All right, man, and we are out.
For sure.
Boom.